One thing which I wish I knew about sex is that not all women orgasm like porn or
at all.
The vagina at all. Period.
59% of women have faked an orgasm. That's not shocking.
Not even sure.
That's
Only
not
59.
Shocking. Only 59. I know.
Yeah.
And can we have a conversation about why women feel the need to fake an orgasm? Because you wouldn't see a man faking an orgasm. Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between. It's definitely TMI.
That took some adjusting.
I was like, oh, and then
how are you, babe?
I'm doing pretty all right today.
Yeah, it's good to see you smiling.
Thank you so much.
And your smile today feels really
it's a genuine smile. Yeah, it's not the I'm just doing this because we love the in-betweener so much and we gotta do this episode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, just stop and clap for Lydia because we haven't missed a single episode. And like, oh, I can't get out of bed or what.
With full
the
makeup.
body, with
full makeup and
makeup
and wig.
Listen,
not a bonnet inside.
Yeah, me, I was prepared for anything. I was like, okay, she just comes in pajamas. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go home and get my pajamas. We're doing a pajama episode.
I want to commend you as well because guys, there's nothing, when you have a friendship and then also your money is tied because obviously this is a business that we have together. You always feel like you have an expectation to not let the other person down.
Oh, yeah.
Me and her feel that so much with each other.
Yeah.
But in this period of growth.
Some in-betweeners might not know what you're talking about because maybe they don't follow you.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry if you don't follow me. But anyway, follow me on Lydia KM.
Exactly.
I am going through a breakup at the moment and it's been a while. So the last
by this time it'll be like 6 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
No, 6 weeks of episodes.
Oh yeah.
6 weeks of episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe has been so just be Lydia, just be. Even showing up, like if you show up, it's just like the grace of God. It's like completely fine, and that has given me so much room. And I think that's why I was trying so hard, so that I don't let you down because you've been so chilled and easy.
Which is why I had to tell you take a fucking break.
Yeah,
because
I did take a week off social media, but let me tell you, it would be a cold day in hell for me to not show up for TMI.
Right?
It will be a cold day in hell for us to miss an episode.
To miss an episode. I don't know why I feel like so much more like when it's TMI. Even when I meet or like I see a negative comment about TMI, I feel so much more worked up as opposed to when it's on my page. It's just like whatever. On TMI, I'm like, how dare you?
Yeah, it's a very different experience. And my commitment to it's not that I'm not committed to my own page. I am. Yeah. But that one is like all the consequences are on me. But this one, to think at the week went by and the in-betweeners, there was no episode.
They were just chilling.
There's gotta be a massive emergency. Yeah. A massive emergency. So
like when I had COVID, that was it.
And we had no choice. That was it. That was the only episode we've ever missed.
Like a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's been like a year and a half
and
now.
That is the tone. That is the tone. And we thank God. Thank you so much for being the most amazing person. In between us on all the other episodes, especially when I did announce, I see all your comments. Oh yeah, we hope you're okay. We hope you're going to be fine.
She's going to be okay. Yeah.
I'm going to be okay, for sure. That's a fact. I'm going to be okay. Yeah. But we're just going through the motions.
We are going through the motions. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. If this is the first episode of TMI that you're watching, welcome. We would love to have you stay as an in-betweener. If this is not the first episode that we're watching, we hope that you are subscribed, guys. Please subscribe. It helps us so much. I think we're like at 77K or 78K by the time this video is coming out, which is massive.
I know.
It is massive, guys. And we really thank you for your support. If you have not already joined the gang, please join, subscribe to our channel and tap that notification bell so that you always know when we upload, which is spoiler alert, Wednesday 12 p.m. every single week. Always. Also follow us on our socials, TMI Podcast KE, Lydia KM, Murugi Munyi, on Instagram, on Facebook for some of us. Are you on Facebook?
No. I actually do have a Facebook page.
It's just that you don't really post or search. On TikTok and all these other cool platforms. So today's episode, as you've seen from the title that is written there, is things that we wish we knew about our favorite topic. Sex. And people ask us why we like talking about sex so much. It's because all of us, even you, enjoy having sex.
And that is why you enjoy hearing us talking about sex.
Exactly.
Because you go and see the views
It's always
The
crazy.
sex podcasts or all the episodes
are up
talk.
there, yeah.
And I guess it's because, especially in the creative space, this is still a taboo, taboo topic. And I think there is this idea that if you're talking about sex, either you're being crass or you're oversharing. Whereas the truth is, if we're all experiencing the same thing, but we're being quiet about it, what that means is that we're experiencing things alone more than as a shared experience, because it is a shared experience.
Exactly, it is. Yeah. It's weird, actually, the fact that literally every single person is having sex, but we're not talking about it. It's just strange. It's like periods maybe 10 years ago. I feel like now conversations about periods have become a lot less taboo, even though in some places it still is. But with sex, we are really doing our best to change that perception that if you're talking about sex, you are slut or you are crass, as you said, you know, or it's something vulgar, but it doesn't have to be. There's education there, and it's just like a normal, natural part of adulting.
It is,
right?
And we support that. But the way you talk about sex doesn't have to be like us. Right? We just want to have the conversation and, you know, open the conversation for you guys to talk about it with your partners and your girlfriends, and you know, we move the conversation forward. Absolutely, so that we can understand a bit more this thing that we keep quiet. Exactly, but before me and Joe knew what we know now, we did not know.
We knew nothing.
Anything.
I wish there was a TMI for us when we were growing up. I mean, we're still growing up, technically, but I wish there was a TMI.
Yeah, like to just hear someone talk about, like, you know, what's this, you know, how is anal going to be, and, you know, what's the experience with orgasm, so many things. But anyway, we can be for someone else.
We can be for someone else. And I absolutely love when people message us, especially like younger people, like 18, 19, 20, who are just like on the cusp of life. You know, they're just starting and they're like, wow, you guys have taught me so much. I love that for you guys. Yeah. And I love that we are able to impact people that way. Like, it makes me feel so happy. Yeah. And I feel like also, if you watch these episodes that we do about sex and it makes you super uncomfortable, one, click off the video.
Boundaries.
Exactly.
Sure.
Or two, question, why are you so uncomfortable talking about something that people are doing every day, that you are constantly partaking in? Why is it that hearing the word sex or, you know, seeing something sexual, why does it make you uncomfortable? I would urge you to question that.
And we're assuming there's no like abuse around that topic. So if it's just like maybe your mind is a bit shut off, maybe that's something you can explore as far as how you can expand your mind and, you know, check what's there. And I do, as we said, there's a lot of sexual shaming, especially with women.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, how dare you enjoy sex? So we do understand where some of these things can come from, but it's, as she said, it's true triggering. Yeah. Maybe have a conversation about what that could be about.
Yeah. Or even click off, go and watch something else maybe that we did about I don't know what, and then come back. Or watch it in bits,
more relaxed,
point by point,
bit by bit. When it gets too far, run away.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was I think it was 2 days ago. I went somewhere for a meeting, and one of the lady was saying that TMI came in a really like open space, but I did say that because you guys encourage this kind of content, because you tell us how it's helpful and how you guys are learning, is why we keep creating it. Because it's basically you guys who have rewarded us for this. That's why we keep doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you enjoy this, obviously give it a thumbs up, because that would also help us know what kind of content we should keep making for you. All right.
Yeah.
So as mentioned, we are talking about things we wish we knew about sex, and when we say we wish we knew probably before we started having sex,
or at least we got what sex is really about.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like for most people, I mean, with the exception of like now there's like podcasts like TMI podcast and whatnot, usually it was like when you want to know something about sex, either you're watching porn, which, as you will know, see in the things of what we wish we knew, porn is just not real life. It's not real life.
It's not even close.
Yeah. Or you just Google and then maybe you find like 10 different sites which are all telling you different things, and it's a confusing space to be. So today we want to share some resources and of course our own opinion about the things that we wish we knew about sex. Basically. All right, so let me go with my first point, which I've already mentioned. Porn is not real life. Sex will not last for 2 to 3 hours. Okay, just going and going and going and going, and the dick remains the penis remains hard and the vulva remains wet throughout. It's like sometimes it can take long, and maybe you take breaks in between. Sometimes it'll take 5 minutes, sometimes it'll take 10 minutes, and it doesn't mean that it's weird or awkward. It's just sex is just so varied, guys. Porn is not an accurate way for you to benchmark how good your sex life is.
100%. And also I feel like because of the porn industry leaning a lot towards like, you know, women being treated a particular way. Actually, there was a study that was done that showed that when men watch porn, the part of their brain that's activated isn't the one that relates to humans, is the one that relates to objects.
Oh.
Yeah, so then now you go, let's even say you're a king betweener, you go and watch that, and then what do you come treating the person like? An object. And sometimes, you know what? I'm not mad. There's moments.
There are days.
There are days to be treated like an object. I've said no to nothing.
Yeah.
But in general, for you to relate to sex like with a human being as if it's an object, I think it's too much.
It feels problematic.
Yeah, and don't you feel like sometimes some of the things that they go through is just like,
yeah,
you know what I'm doing?
It's like,
it's like, and you think it's like, this one hurts like this.
Yeah.
So these ones, hey.
When it's anyway, let's not be crass, but guys, let's not be crass. But like, the porn industry, I feel like porn in itself ruins a lot of sexual experiences. I feel like it can be, in some ways, like tasteful porn, in my opinion, can be helpful in your marital, your sexual, your relationship life. But if overdone, it can first of all lead to unrealistic expectations in sex. It can lead to you feeling like you're not normal, or like, my man is not performing, when actually you're expecting his penis to be here to here, and it's like, let's just live in real life.
Yeah, and how all vulvas look in porn, it's just like, okay, why does mine not look like that?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like too much goes on there that's not even that helpful.
Yeah.
So I agree with that one. That's something I definitely wish I knew.
Yeah.
It's like, Sarah Jane over there is not me.
It's not you.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay that she is Sarah Jane.
And it's not representative of like everyday normal sexual experiences.
Yeah.
I'm not saying normal, but everyday sexual experiences. Yeah.
Porn can also be somewhere where you explore your kinks in a healthy way.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something I definitely use. I just think, like anything that comes into my mind that I think like, oh, that could be weird and kinky, I can explore through porn in a healthy way, because sometimes you don't always feel comfortable or whatever the case may be. So that's a positive, but it's definitely not.
But I feel like also, sorry, we are really belaboring this one.
Okay.
But the number of, I've just thought, the way you said you can explore it in a healthy way, I feel like it's almost like porn, it kind of is like alcohol or some form of drug. It's like, there's a tendency for people to get addicted to it in a really negative way.
That's
and
a pandemic, by the way.
And it's the number of DMs we've gotten about porn, about masturbation, where it's like, it was fun, but now it's like, I can't go without it. I can't live without it. Someone I remember DMing me and saying they can't even have sex with their partner without them having watched porn, or without porn being played as they are actually doing. And of course, now once you cross that line, it's so hard.
It is, and you need to actually seek help the same way you'd seek help with anything else. Maybe I feel like if you should measure yourself, if you feel like you're unable to go without it, or you're getting to the point of it's like you can't wait to get home to do it. Yeah. Like maybe start.
Or you're at the office and now you're in the toilet and now you're watching. I think
we're
appropriate. We are crossing.
We are crossing lines. So maybe you should just definitely get help for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So my point is, one thing which I wish I knew about sex is that not all women orgasm like porn or
at all.
The vagina at all. Period.
Yeah, actually not all women orgasm at all.
Yeah. They can't climax in the same way, but that has nothing to do with enjoying sex. But of course, every single movie, this is how it goes. They've gone inside, tear clothes, turn, and then 2 minutes,
And then funny enough, in movies, they both orgasm at the same time all the time. They just see them lying on the bed.
Wow. That was the best. And guess what? If you count the movie, I don't think we are 30 seconds.
We are not
at 30 seconds. So when you come into the experience with of sex, and you're just like, okay, number one, I'm not coming vaginally. Number two, we're not coming together. It's not this exhale at the end of it. It's not lasting 5 seconds. Sometimes it's an unrealistic standard to set that for yourself, because biologically speaking, it's not possible for every single woman.
Yeah. Let me share with you guys some statistics about orgasms because I found these so interesting. So they say 81% of women don't orgasm from intercourse alone.
81. As this woman,
that's
as
like
I said,
majority.
For me, it's like they don't feel as intense. They just feel different than a clitoral one. I am mostly a clitoral climaxer.
I'm the opposite. I am a penetration climaxer.
But I feel like it's because of your lack of patience.
It is because I'm just like, okay, fine. To my lamba. Now can we get to the rest? Can we get to the rest? And I just find that I enjoy sex. I just enjoy the penetration and I enjoy that process.
I get
so for me,
that.
I'm just like, I'm not willing to now forfeit this part for this other one.
But imagine you don't have to. You don't have to.
So you want you have the clitoral stimulation until you orgasm and then you have sex.
And then I have sex. Actually, that's kind of the pattern. But let me tell you also, after you have the clitoral orgasm, your inside is so sensitive.
Yeah.
So when there's penetration, my good friend.
Now it's sounding like that sex is taking too long. Because how long did it take for us to do this?
It doesn't. Anyway, I'm working on her, guys.
She's working on me. I don't know how fast, but anyway, yeah, she's working on me. Another statistic, 95% of heterosexual men usually or always orgasm during partnered sexual activity compared to just 65% of heterosexual women, which means literally over 30% of women don't orgasm at all. And that's possible, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not possible. There are some women who just don't orgasm.
And that's...
But like Lydia said, it's not equal. Like you haven't orgasmed means you're not enjoying sex, or you haven't enjoyed sex. You absolutely
that's the standard we need to drop as well, because it's not every time.
Another one, 5 to 10% of women have never orgasmed, and many of these women will orgasm later in life.
I heard that there's a stage with women, like those 50s.
Yeah,
those
40s, 50s. I know.
I heard it's mind blowing over there.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That makes me excited to grow older.
Me too.
In one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you want to
men
experience it now. Yeah,
they're like going
I
down.
feel like I want the best sex of my life to be when I'm younger, because like now we have energy and like I feel like we're a lot more like carefree and whatever. I feel like as you get older, obviously it's not the same. I mean, I'm assuming because I've never been old. So,
I don't think, funny enough, think about all the things that you're thinking about right now. Even right now, you're saying that you have so much to do. Like kids are still young, so much. I feel like freedom comes kind of a bit later. It's like teenagers, they're taking care of themselves and all of these things. It's like you're freer.
Yeah, you're right.
And richer.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, another one. 59% of women have faked an orgasm. That's not shocking.
Not even sure.
That's
only
not
59.
Shocking. Only 59. I know.
Yeah.
And can we have a conversation about why women feel the need to fake an orgasm? Because you wouldn't see a man faking an orgasm.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's harder for them, but
we've naturally been conditioned to believe that it's us to manage their egos.
Yeah.
And also, it's very rare that conversation goes well. It's rare. So sometimes it's more like, Exactly. I saw a TikTok which was just like, when when my man has to, I don't want my man to get late, so I fake the orgasm.
To get late?
I don't want to get late for work. Oh. So I fake the orgasm.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, he can go feeling great, and everyone's on time.
Everyone's fine.
This is a harmless issue, but to be honest, I do get it's a bit inauthentic.
Yeah, but me, I get, the times when I have faked an orgasm with previous partners is like when, you know how sometimes you have an experience and like they are so insistent on trying to make you
and now you're tired.
Now it's not even fun anymore because now it just feels like you're it's not about us having fun together. Now it's
like an achievement.
An achievement for you, and it's just like now it's not even.
And you're working my team. You're working her. She's at a 10. Pick somebody else.
I'm at a 10. Exactly. It's just like it's too much. Yeah. Okay, last statistic. Women take an average of, let me ask you to guess, how many minutes do you think a woman takes to have sex, to orgasm during partnered sex versus during masturbation?
Ooh, I feel like masturbation, if I use myself, masturbation or clitoral stimulation, whichever one it is, I feel like maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. And then the partnered sex maybe like 20.
Okay, you're not that far off. Okay, so for masturbation, it's 8 minutes. And for partnered sex, it's 14 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I am shorter on that.
Yeah, really?
I am shorter. Especially anything pertaining that C word.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, that's just really your thing.
It is.
Yeah,
it's like the best thing ever.
Really, is it? It's one of the best things ever. For me, the actual sex.
No, I do. And guess what? I love that. But that for me, most of the time, because of, I guess, the way I relate with sex, has so much to do with my partner. Yeah. That's an enjoyment that's not necessarily just pure pleasure. It's so much about what I'm doing this with you. Yeah. That's what I get from that.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Anyway, now that we have learned so much about orgasms, our partner for this episode is actually Beducated. You guys have seen our faves. You guys have seen us talk about them so many times, and we will not stop, by the way, because we are determined for every single one of you to achieve an orgasm, because life is not, life is too short. It's too short, and life is just so sweet. It's so sweet when you're experiencing that. And because obviously, as we mentioned, there are some people who have yet yet to experience it, or maybe depending on the kind of sexual relationship you have with your partner, it might be difficult. Beducated actually has an amazing course on their app.
On their
platform, on their platform about the female orgasm. It's 100% dedicated to achieving female pleasure. Literally, it is all about you and how you achieve pleasure.
And I was so surprised at some of the things that we found out. We did have a list. There's a list which I googled after about what type of orgasms they were, but there's plenty I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Because me, I'm just like kind of focused on like virginal. I don't even think it's called. It's not called virginal. It's called.
What is
cervix? It wasn't cervix.
No, cervix. No. Oh God, we're gonna have to find it. We're gonna have to find it,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. But if this is the first time you're hearing of Beducated, let's say you've not watched any of our other past sex episodes. Beducated is basically an online platform where you're able to have access to like tons and tons and tons of courses about sex, pretty much. It's they call it the Netflix of sex because that's literally what it is. Exactly.
Sex, pleasure.
So there's lots of audio and video sex education for you to be able to take your love life to the next level.
Yeah.
It's like literally anything from dating to
Kinky
meeting
sex,
people online to kinky
sexual
sex.
confidence.
Exactly. Masturbation, female orgasm. And it's just a lot, guys, but it's amazing. Even for people like us who I feel like we know a lot about sex, but let me tell you one thing about sex education. It never ends.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no point where you can reach and be like, I know everything about sex.
Yeah.
It literally never ends.
And you know, Joe said that unfortunately, when we were searching out on information about sex, when we weren't so sure, you come on the page, you come on Google, and it's like a million things, and they're all contradicting themselves. Whereas on Beducated, they put up to 70 plus courses a week they add on, and they are all from certified experts. So you're not gonna find Sally Ann from randomly down the road telling you about anything. These are experts. They know what they're talking about. So you can be sure the information you're getting is going to be helpful. It's based on research, and it's somebody who actually knows exactly what we're doing.
Exactly.
And because obviously we love you guys, and as we said, we want as many of you to experience an orgasm or just like pleasure and sexual confidence. We have got a code which is TMI podcast, and that gives you 65% off the annual fee of on Beducated, and it's locked.
Exactly.
That's
for
it.
life,
It's like for the rest of your life, you will be able to have access to all of these courses to help you understand yourself and your intimacy and your pleasure and your partner.
a lot better. Beducated is a subscription service, which means that you probably pay at the beginning of the year, or however you would like to pay. It can be at the beginning of the year, or it can be like monthly, and you just have access to all the courses. Also, if you would like to test it out for one day, if you just want to go and browse and see what's there, even though we've put some of the images on the screen, you can just go, you have access to it for one day, and then you can decide whether or not you want to sign up. But I would highly recommend. So like this one, for example, for female orgasm, some of the things that they cover under there is learning how to touch the different pleasure zones of the vulva. Do you even know where the pleasure zones are? I'm aware unajua too. It's just the way that it is. You learn how to expand your experience of pleasure and orgasmic potential. Maybe you're out there thinking, me, I'm just one of those women who don't orgasm. And that was me for a really long time, by the way. I told you, I broke my virginity at 15. I think by the time I had an orgasm, I was 24 or 25. That's 10 years of thinking, I guess I'm just not one of those women. But then I experienced sex in a different way, and it was a different guy. And it was just like, wow. So you mean I can, you know? And sometimes maybe you're sitting on your own pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you just need to know the things that, and exactly like we said, sex, there's no one size fits all, you know? So maybe there's something unique to you that you can do to be able to achieve that orgasm. You also learn techniques for achieving multiple orgasms. That's the part that interested me the most in this course.
I tried it.
Oh!
Field study as an in-betweener.
The field in question.
The field is me. Right? Because I wanted to see, so essentially what edging is like when you're giving yourself self-pleasure, or that was my way, so you go up, like, you know, you're almost at a climax, then you intentionally sew yourself down, and then you go back up again, and then you intentionally sew yourself down, and you can do this however long you want. However, by the time you're getting to
how many times
the climax, you can do, they in the video they demonstrated 3 times.
Okay,
but it's completely up to you how long you want to take it, because the more you do that, the more likely that climax is going to be mind-blowing. Verdict?
It worked.
It's mind-blowing because that control, like, you know, okay, relax now. It's like, it takes you on like high up and down. Woo!
Oh God, I want to try that.
Yeah,
I want to
I
try
have
that.
tried it
What
and
time does this
tested
shoot
it.
end? I have some business.
You have some
matters to
business.
attend
I have a
to.
meeting with
I have
myself.
I have a mirroring.
It was
exactly
mind blowing,
Yeah.
guys. I would definitely recommend.
They
Yeah.
also have a segment where they talk about like sex toys and the impact that could have on your orgasm.
Yeah.
And also from the statistics we shared, clearly masturbation is, I think it's an easier way for you to introduce your body
And
to orgasms.
explore
And
yourself.
explore. Because
Yeah.
how can you be able to explain to someone what you like if you yourself you don't even know what
your
you like?
pleasure
Yeah,
points.
you don't know exactly. So when you touch yourself by yourself, it's like, I know that I like you when I feel here, and I know that this. Why are you smiling like this? What an exciting time to be alive that Beducated is here. I honestly, genuinely love this app. I feel like it's giving people an opportunity to learn in a different way. Also, because most of them have videos, you can select if you're not so comfortable seeing like explicit nudity.
Yeah.
Like this one particularly
There's
has
disclaimers.
there's disclaimers. So like this one is quite explicit. Like you would need to be seeing what's happening, and what the person is doing. But there are some courses which are more video, there are some which are more audio, there are some which don't have as much explicitness.
Yeah, but you'll be given like a disclaimer so that you can decide what you're comfortable with.
Exactly. So if you'd like to download it, please click the link in our caption down below and use the code TMI podcast. Get your 1 day free and your 65% off your annual subscription.
Yeah.
All right. Next point. I think it's me. Okay. Wait, let me find my points. Sorry, wait. Where are my points? I found them. Okay. So the trajectory of your sex life, something I wish I knew. The trajectory of your sex life with someone is not linear. So it can start off, let's say you meet someone for the first time. And you know how in movies, the first time that the two people have sex, it's phenomenal.
Always mind-blowing.
It's always mind-blowing, and it's just so passionate.
Game-changing.
Exactly. And then we hardly ever see, okay, how does that continue, But sometimes you meet somebody and it starts off really great and becomes not so great later. Sometimes it starts off the first time, it's like, it's a bit awkward depending on the sexual energy, and then it becomes phenomenal. Sometimes it's just easy, and and there's different ways to enjoy sex. But I think discounting somebody and saying we're not a good sexual match just because it wasn't like super passionate and like mind-blowing the first time is wrong, because I feel like it can grow, it can change, especially because if you meet someone for the first time, you don't know each other, you don't know what does this person like. You're probably just taking what you've done with like past sexual partners and trying to replicate it. But now over time, the more you know them, the better the sex can become,
Yeah. So for me, the way it is like if it's somebody who I'm going to have sex with like now, the sexual chemistry has to be like so on fire that sexual chemistry can almost like carry the technicalities of sex.
Yes,
so for me, that is the thing that I look for most when I'm about to engage in sex, unless it's a situation where it's like, we've been dating for a while and we haven't had sex and that's slowly building. But I feel like the sexual chemistry for me is usually what makes it like fire. And then now the technicalities of like, oops, those ones like are definitely workable. So I get your point. It's not, if it's not everything 10 out of 10 from the beginning, then it's a bad experience and this person is discounted.
Exactly.
I think I do that though.
I know.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever had a first experience with someone which was
is
bad.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because of that. It's because of the chemistry. Because the chemistry is just like you're already just so excited to be in this space with this person that even if it's not like 100, it feels like it's 100.
For me, for sure, that is the biggest marker. And if I'm not feeling like the world is ending as far as how attracted I am for you, you're not getting it. Just move on. Just move it along. I'm not the one for you. The next one. One thing which I wish I knew about sex is that sexuality is fluid, right? Yeah. There are so many DMs we get from in between us, even on our own personal pages, which allude to, I feel attracted to a girl. Okay, how do I decipher? How am I coming out to my parents? Pump the brakes. Relax, Jane. Because sexuality is like that. It's very fluid. So it doesn't necessarily mean, I find this girl attractive. That's it. Now I am a lesbian or whatever the case may be. A lot of these things are maybe even it's like a fantasy you want to explore, but really you've never been in a relationship with a girl or the other way around. It's way too fluid for us to keep it like, it's like I am only attracted to men and anything else makes me, part of the community. I don't necessarily always think so. It's just like, relax. You can also be curious. You could be curious or whatever the case may be. But I wish I knew that because I feel like I boxed myself so much and I made very black and white decisions in a topic area that's a lot more gray.
Exactly. And like I think growing up, sometimes you'd be like, if you feel a certain level of attraction to someone who you're like, I know that I am heterosexual. So if I feel attracted to this person, I just start feeling deviant. And I'm like, oh my God. Am I like, you just start
lying.
feeling, you've been lying. Exactly. I'm a fraud.
You're a fraud.
Yeah. Anyway, this was also one of my points I had written. There are many forms of sexuality. It's not just the ones which are listed. It's not just lesbian, gay, I like boys. Here are some of the different forms of sexuality. Tell me if you know them. First one is alloromantic. Do you know what that is?
No.
That is somebody who has romantic attraction towards who experience towards all sexes. Alloromantic, but not necessarily sexual. Then there's allosexual. That is someone who feels sexual attraction towards other people. They may want to have sex with a partner. So it's like general. They feel just towards people in general.
Yeah.
Androsexual. Do you know what androsexual is?
I'll tell you which
people
one I know as we go.
People who consider themselves androsexual feel attraction towards men, whether or not they were assigned male at birth. So like you're androsexual and I am androsexual. Did you even
That's
know
interesting.
that? So interesting. Aromantic, that's people. Those are people who don't. They identify as aromantic if they don't feel any romantic attraction towards anyone. Asexual, people who don't, you know that one, right?
Yeah.
People who don't feel any sexual attraction towards people. And then under asexual, there's sex averse, there's sex favorable, sex indifferent, sex repulsed, depending on like how much does sex feel like, okay, I could do it, or yuck, I would never have sex. And that's a thing. There's autoromantic, a romantic attraction towards themselves.
I think I
Listen!
that. Because, sweetie, we be having way too much fun.
Autosexual, people who identify as autosexual, they have a sexual attraction towards themselves. Then bicurious,
Yeah.
you know that, it's like sexual or romantic experience with someone of the same gender. Biromantic, which means I could feel romantically attracted to you, but not sexually. We were talking about this actually.
No, I was saying that it's like that person is attractive to me, but I'm not sexually attracted to I wouldn't go to like the sex part.
But so would you be attracted to them romantically, even if it's not sexually?
No, because I'm not attracted to the opposite sex romantically. I mean, to the same sex romantically.
Okay,
it's not romantic.
Fine. Anyway, there are so many. There's even demisexual. There's gynesexual. It's just, it's a lot. There's many. We can share the list as well below. If we remember, I think we should try and remember. So you can be able to see, And I think with sex, we should never, there's no need to have a label on what you are.
So. Even actually, when you're going through all of this, I feel like sometimes labels help you maneuver life. It's like, I am a woman, I am black, I am whatever. What do you say that one is? I'm
androsexual.
I'm androsexual. I'm androsexual. I feel like they help you navigate certain conversations, but in life experiences themselves, I feel like the less labels, the better.
The less labels, the better, actually. And in fact, instead of like saying, okay, me, I'm heterosexual, and then now making decisions based off of the fact that you've decided you're heterosexual, just make the decision based on what feels right and what feels good. Exactly, because it's like, if you have said you are this, but this is what your body is telling you to do, then just do the one that your body is telling you to do. Why box yourself in,
Let the experience guide you.
Let the experience guide you, exactly. And also, by the way, on Beducated,
you sound like
so
some fluid
I
ass
know,
bitches.
some fluid. And you know what? I ain't committing to nothing. I'm gonna do what I want to do. All right. Which is have sex only with my husband.
Of course.
Yeah, just to clarify.
Fact.
Just to clarify. Also on Beducated, regardless of what your orientation is, I would say, because I've seen more homosexual content, I've seen heterosexual content, I've seen stuff which can apply to literally any sexuality type, because it's like, it's just relating with humans, so to speak. It's any kind of dating. So definitely, regardless of how you identify, you can definitely take advantage of Beducated. Yeah. That was yours. Wasn't it yours?
Oh, sexuality.
Yes,
fluid,
exactly. Okay, this one is mine. Masturbation is not just for people who don't have a partner.
Oh, absolutely.
Masturbation can be enjoyed at any point, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single. Perhaps when you're single, it's just that you'll do it more because there's no one there. But even if you're in a relationship, even if you're married, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy some forms of masturbation. Also, mutual masturbation is phenomenal.
Oh,
it's not like a must. If you're together in the bed, we must be having sex with each other. By the way, masturbation can be amazing. Yeah, and a lot of people ask us about this.
Sorry. Keep it together, Lydia, surely.
And I know what you're thinking about. And don't think I don't know, you stupid little girl. I know, Lydia. But anyway, those masturbation can be really, really great. Again, like with porn, it's one of those things which you can enjoy it within limits, but like if it goes above and beyond, it can cause issues, especially if you're in a relationship and it's like now you don't even want to have sex with your partner because masturbation is just so much better and it's like easier for you to orgasm and it's quicker and it's like
less head banging.
Exactly, less
headboard banging.
We were just saying before this, it's like some positions, man, you're put in and it's like you've tightened your core, your leg, and your left butt cheek. Let me tell you, you can't move.
You are being held together with string.
A string.
But masturbation,
it's just you, And then what I like about masturbation, it's like it can be at any time. Let's say I'm just like bored on an afternoon, and let's say I start and then I decide, I don't feel like doing it anymore. You can just stop. It's sex, you're about to be like, I don't feel like
get off.
I'm tired. Get out.
It's definitely it's a commitment.
That's
a
the
lot
thing.
more of a commitment.
And then afterwards you can't just go on your phone. You know how you're done masturbating, you're just like,
no.
Now?
Yeah.
Now that one, you're cuddling and people are being wiped and it's just so much,
It's definitely so much.
Masturbation is great for anybody.
Yes. I enjoy masturbation when I am single or when I'm not. I feel like those two things are just two different experiences.
Yeah.
I have seen it though that there's a way I've got to go about it in a different way, maybe when I am in a relationship, in that it's like, okay, first of all, it shouldn't be 24/7 anyway, but it's just like, I think like I do want to reserve that experience sometimes to my partner.
Yeah.
And now when you're single, this could be a full-time job.
Yeah.
So my sweet children,
my sweet sister,
please do not make it a full-time job. And also, like, for example, now going through a heartbreak, there's a lot of times I'm getting like emotions which are like difficult to deal with and whatever. And sometimes anything that brings you pleasure can be something which you use as an escape. So it's something which I've been so observant about. From my alcohol intake to my self-pleasure moments, it's like you want to curb that they don't become your escape. Because now I'm at TMI and I can't wait to get home.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's like then that becomes a bit of a habit. So I'm just sharing, if you are in the same shoes as me, gotta pump the brakes.
Take a chill pill. Yeah,
take
exactly.
a chill pill.
And I've found that even though I do still self-pleasure, obviously it's a lot less because I am having sex with my partner, so it's like a lot less that I would do it. But many times I found that even when I do engage in that, it's not necessarily that I'm horny and now my partner is not there or whatever. It's just that maybe you just need some form of release, or you just want to just give yourself a treat. Because sometimes it's just like you just want to give it. I deserve it. I worked so hard. I deserve a treat. That's all I'm saying. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there is a course on masturbation, as Joe pointed out in the beginning of the video. So if you want to understand it, like how you can be gently introduced to it, because I know me and Joe do talk about it from a place of like, free. But we understand that it's a bit more difficult for other people to even conceptualize, to have that kind of relationship with yourself. So that would be an amazing course for you to get into.
Exactly.
Okay, my other one is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with kinks. You can't help it. As long as your kink does not interfere with either hurting someone or hurting innocence.
Yeah.
Everything else is a go. Let me tell you, as I said, one of the ways I do explore my kinks is like, I'll think of just something random that I feel like, oh, that could be sexy. And that's the point which I explore.
Or sometimes you just encounter something and you feel yourself like,
oh my God.
Yeah. Is that exciting?
And then you can there's nothing wrong with kink. Stop kink shaming yourself. Forget other people kink shaming you.
Yeah.
We kink shame ourselves so often. Like, as we're saying, labeling yourself. What does this mean about? No.
It doesn't mean anything.
Sometimes you just have a weird random kink.
Give us an example.
Absolutely not, sweetie pie.
Why? Just one.
Honey, no. Wait, what's one I could share?
What's one you could share? Are you into like costumes and whatnot?
Oh, is that a kink?
Yeah. Costume, dress up and what?
That's
and
giving
role
like
play.
This is the level you're talking about.
But you realize not everyone out here is you.
Oh.
For some people, even the thought of that role play is really huge.
Okay, so for me, that's like a very tender. I don't feel like that's a kink.
Yeah.
I do love dressing up, like, as a maid or a nurse or something like that, and just being more like, oh, hi, bad boy, or whatever.
It becomes you.
Yeah? Yeah, it makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
We're not shocked at that. We're not shocked. Yeah, okay. For me, let's see a kink that I like. Also, I feel like there's a difference between a kink like that you would watch in porn and then one that you would actually try. And those are two very distinct.
Okay, so maybe I can share one.
Ones,
yeah. So one which I would watch, but
not
absolutely not is like gangbang.
Yeah.
It's like,
I feel like every woman has watched gangbang at some point. But it's like, do you want
why
to be
are
in
you
a
projecting so you can feel more comfortable? You've watched this.
You know, you always want to feel like you're in a group.
We're
It's
not
all
in a
it's
group.
all of us, right? We've all watched gangbang,
No.
haven't we?
No. See, that looks like, very great for viewing.
But are you... No, those women look like they go through a lot. Me, when I see how she is after month 3, and I'm like, you have 7 more to go. Buckle up, baby girl. Nope.
What? Or like multiples?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're enjoying this.
Exactly. Double penetration.
Triple.
Not triple.
Triple.
No, come on.
Yep.
Fisting. No.
That's even one I want to watch.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, definitely some for viewership and others for real life.
Exactly.
Anyway,
but everyone has their own thing. So you go and explore and
your
just
kinks,
find what works
be
for you.
Free.
Yeah.
And if they're trapped, those are the ones that manifest with nothing, something nasty. Now you are peeping Tom. Don't be that.
Please.
Yeah.
No, please. Yeah. And these are not things that you have to share with anyone.
No.
So you shouldn't even be feeling any shame or guilt about it. It's
There's
just
plenty
you and
I've never
yourself.
shared with anyone on earth.
Even me. We are talking after this. What have you shared?
I think I actually shared with you like this other one. We were told not to do
Oh,
whispering.
sorry.
Because people
you
feel,
guys, I can't even talk to my best friend here
they
in
said
the
because they
shoot.
feel like they're in a
What?
group and we're excluding them.
Yeah, but we are.
Okay, I'll tell you after.
Okay, fine. You tell me afterwards and I'll remind you, please.
Okay,
fine. Another thing that I wish that I knew about sex before is that there are no universal rules or techniques that everyone is going to love. You go out there and hear that all women or all men love doggy. By the way, they don't all love doggy.
Yeah, some people think it's really demeaning.
Exactly. Or that all men enjoy getting head or all women enjoy getting head. Not true. There are some things that are just, it's just not, there's no universal rule. And there's literally nothing that says you have to enjoy sex this way versus this way. There are so many different ways to enjoy sex. A million ways.
Yeah, and don't go around with that attitude of everyone enjoys the same thing because at the first time of experiencing sex and you maybe slap my butt, we're gonna need to talk about that because maybe that's not what that's not what I experienced, but maybe your last one experienced it that way, you know? I don't know who it is, like someone in my life who was slapped in the face without working.
And I was like, I could be into that.
Yeah, but guess what? I feel like it's like I could be when I know that's what we're doing. But maybe as we're going through and just it's like now I'm confused.
Am I confused or am I excited?
Yeah, but because you're in the trusting hands of your husband, you can't experience.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It.
Okay,
stranger.
Okay, it's stranger. It's like it's a one night. I mean, what do you do?
Exactly. Now that's what
and now you're like,
about.
okay, fine. I don't know if I should tell him stop or is this now?
Am I getting hurt?
Am I getting hurt? Is he? Yeah, like. And then I said, okay, wait, is this consensual? Like, can I stop if I wanted to?
Yes.
I'm scared
What's happening
to stop.
now?
Yeah.
And now he's this big black man. Now you're afraid.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Why does he have to be black?
Because it's got to be black.
It's
got to be big. That's a sign
it's
of
true.
like strength.
Big black man has now slapped you. Your face is swollen.
The first time.
And Lydia is coming the next day to be like, oh guys, I went through a little accident yesterday.
We don't need that. So please
don't.
don't walk around with the universal energy that like there's a rule there's like a one rule fits all.
Yeah.
Just come slowly, my dear friend, especially in first time experience.
Can I just say another point which just ties very closely to this is that during sex you can't get what you want or you can't get to where you want if you don't talk. You have to communicate. You can't expect your partner to just know exactly what to do or what not to do. If he does that slapping and you're not comfortable, just be like, please don't do that again. I don't like it.
I need you to stop with that right now.
But now the problem is that in some of these situations, like, okay, you don't want to mess like the flow and the whatever, you don't want to make things awkward, like now we are fighting, but we're having sex. But you need to have a way of being able to communicate, like, oh, you know how sometimes maybe he's doing something or maybe he's biting, he's like, oh, just a little softer. Yeah. But it's like, it's like you don't want to say, you, what's wrong with you? You're
but
not chewing.
After a punch, I might.
A punch?
I might have to jump out of this and run away. It depends on what has happened. But she's right. You need to communicate.
But you need to communicate and you need to keep communicating. It's like you could have had sex with your partner for 5 years and things change. Bodies change. Maybe like you've had a baby and now what used to feel good doesn't feel good anymore. Or there's something which you've always said no to, but now you want to try. You have to tell your partner.
Yeah.
You have to speak.
You need to. There is a course on dedicated on kinky sex.
Yeah.
On what we just talking about? Was that
talk?
kinks?
No. What do you call it? Even dirty talk. I think I've seen a
dirty
talk, which I love.
I think I could do a full course on that.
dirty
Yeah,
talk.
I could be the teacher. All right, the next one is you don't have to come to enjoy sex. I think we mentioned that one.
Yeah.
For this one, having sex, this is a bit deeper, but it's about sexuality. One thing I wish I knew about sex is that having sex with people who are shitty to you destroys the relationship which you have with yourself and your sexuality, right? Because it's true. Because I remember the way I felt about sex itself, and because as we said, I was getting the intimacy from this person who really generally wasn't treating me that well. I started associating my pleasure so much with him. It almost became like I was like dependent, because you think it's the sex that you're enjoying, but it's a small bit of intimacy that he's giving you. And that I feel like changed a bit the way I was exploring my sexuality around that time. I was a bit more
and if you
rigid.
Think you know who she's talking about, you don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No. Oh, no,
Because
you
I
don't.
know people are gonna be like, what? That's the reason.
No,
guys,
no,
This is in
not
another
at all.
life back.
Way back.
Yeah.
In this one, I've always shared 10 out of 10.
10 out
no
of 10.
issues there. So yeah, I realized that it was making me feel like, I don't know, small in my sexuality, because the dynamic was toxic.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a healthier, more open, more sexually confident lifestyle, stop having sex with people who are shitty to you.
And then if you have sex with someone and at the end of it, like during the sex, you feel excited, but the second they leave, you feel
empty or shitty or whatever.
Or like even that word that you can't place, but you just know it just doesn't feel right. It just feels like you just know you shouldn't be doing it. Like stop having sex with those people. And the worst thing about toxic sex is I feel like it's equal parts addictive and equal parts dangerous, because you get like this during the thing it might feel so passionate and so deep, so that you always wanting it, but also now you'll be there, that'll be for you, that'll always be what sex is. And then now when you have sex in a safe space, a loving, you start being like, oh, this sex is boring. You know, it's just like, and he's actually trying to like respect you and help you reach your orgasm and what, but you're used to being slapped.
Yep.
Slapped,
being ignored
exactly.
Pillow on the face as he comes.
And you're dead. Now
you're dead. You're dead
to death.
You're dead.
Exactly. Now what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So it's really dangerous. Toxic
That's
sex,
it's an incredible part of having an enjoyable experience, to feel like you're sharing your body with somebody who is a decent human being. And for those who are in situationships, respect is a bare minimum for any interaction with you. Let's stop making respect to be only in relationships. If you don't respect me, you can't engage in anything with me. So that's something which really affected a part of my sex life at some point.
Okay, get that. But you're healed now, you've recovered.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, fine. Here's my next one. Something that I learned later on in my, I would say 6 or 7 years into having sex, is that sex is less about your size or the way your body looks, and more about your confidence and how you feel about your body. Because sometimes as women, you're going in and you're like, oh, you don't want the lights on because he'll see my stretch marks or he'll see my what. And that man doesn't even give a shit about those. Like, he wouldn't even know. He's got his eyes on you, and it's about the experience. And as long as you're confident, like, I feel like the sexual confidence just translates into the sexual experience. It's in how you will, even when you're sitting on top, you're just like majestic, as opposed to like, you know, you're trying to cover up kind of thing. And then if you're so busy trying to cover yourself up and only portray the best side of you, and you know, sex is messy and noisy and smelly sometimes and loud, and like there's just
too much happens.
Too much
happens.
It requires you to be like the most raw, vulnerable version of yourself. And if you're too busy trying to like hide some parts of you, you just will never be able to experience the full thing. Because like now you're thinking about this, but you're also thinking about this. How are you thinking about now your pleasure, his pleasure, and wait, how does my body look in this lighting kind of thing? You know, I feel like for true sexual like liberation, you need to be confident in your body regardless of what you look like.
I think that is something maybe a lot of us women, because of our my body this and that and that, we kind of it comes with age, but you guys, we are trying to help you to fast forward some of these experiences. And one of the things that sexual confidence brings is presence. You're here. The only thing I'm thinking about is, how can I make this an amazing experience? How can I kiss on him and love on him or her or whatever in the best way possible? And actually, sex requires presence to be amazing. Because if you know he's like on top or whatever, you're just thinking, oh my God, all those clouds.
Yeah. What's
It's
happening?
lost. You know, there's
What
someone
is
who I
going
know
on?
who said, actually, there's a time they were having sex and they just thought, oh, what color are the curtains or something like that. They were like, I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah,
because
you know,
when you're
you
really
know.
engrossed in it, half the time you don't have the time to be
Yeah.
outside looking
You're-
looking other situations. And there is a course on beducated
Beducated, yes.
called sexual confidence, and I love that, and I think I shared that
Absolutely.
before. I've watched it before, and it's by a lady who's plus size, and I'm noting that down because a lot of the times body confidence is tied to smaller women.
Yeah,
But
so
let me
true.
tell you, the way she talked about her sexual confidence,
girl.
I was like, listen, sister, I heard you.
I
I
know.
heard you.
Me, I honestly, when I think back at the sexual experiences I had in my early 20s, I'm like, if I had the confidence I have now,
Yeah.
of just like me, I'm here.
Yeah.
And you know what? That man knows what you look like. By the time he even catered you and said, like, he doesn't, it's not about, you know, the stretch mark or the whatever, or your nipple is pointing this side. It doesn't matter. Like, you show up and just be,
Yeah.
you know.
Remember that guy who you said that he used to make you stand on the side and like rotate
Turn around. Yeah.
That is such a
Miss
unique
Mama too,
experience.
and I'm just turning around. It's just taking it all in, and I love that for me.
I love that for you. I can't
Honestly.
even imagine it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? In this my single experience, I better have somebody who tells me, Ebu, stop there and turn around. Let me look at you. Yeah.
And just feel yourself. And I wonder if men get in their heads like that about.
I
Like,
think they do.
You think
and
so?
much of I think not as much about their bodies,
Theirs
but
is
more
more
on performance.
Yeah, theirs is more performance.
Ego, like, you know, I'm here to kind of please her more than I'm here to share an experience with her.
Yeah. Someone DM'd me last week on my personal page. I wonder if she's watching, but she was talking about how she feels she can't be naked in front of her husband because she was saying how she after she gave birth, she put on a lot of weight and now she's lost some of the weight, but now she has like a lot of loose skin and things like that. And she's like, she can't be naked in front of her husband. So even changing, she'll go change in the bathroom. I'm like, what is that life? In your own house, you're changing in the bathroom, you know.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get how difficult it can be. And honestly, me, I feel like confidence is an inside thing. It has nothing to do with how you look. Like, if at this size I'm not confident, even if I was to become Lydia's size, I won't be confident. I just feel that way. You know, I just feel like it's really an inside thing. And I don't know. I felt so sad.
That is
because
so
I'm like,
sad.
then obviously you're not having sex, or are you having sex with clothes on,
or like
what?
it's
You
dark
know?
or whatever.
Yeah.
I do know that there are things that when I'm doing with my body, I'm more confident. But the truth is, it's like either way, you don't want to touch so much of yourself and your sense of being to your body because it's ever changing.
Yeah.
It's ever changing. So
are there some positions that make you feel like super empowered and super confident?
I love doggy. I love being on top. I guess that always makes you feel a bit more powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, even me, I guess I would say those two. When I'm lying down, I feel like I'm not my best represented self. You know?
Oh, really?
Because I'm just like, it's like, you're just like a starfish.
Yeah?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I feel like it's not my best represented self. But I love when I'm on top because I feel like I can just
More control.
Yeah, more control and more power and whatever. And of course, doggy, because my ass is my best feature.
Yeah. 10. I don't know. There's something about doggy. I know it's like the whole demeaning thing.
Is it?
It's like nasty.
Me, I like the not being able to see him.
No,
Thing. It just feels like I'm just feeling, but we're not looking at each other or we're not kissing or anything. It's like something about it's just about that
Really?
thing that's happening.
I think I love more of the him, like the power position that it looks on you and how small I look. And you know, like just like there, like a dog.
Okay.
Yeah, like
you
like a dog. Like it's like there's a demeaning thing about it. Which
also Lydia immediately after sex now standing up and now you're in your power again.
I love it so much. It's I like the vulnerability. That's the word. I like the vulnerability of being in that position and having, you know.
And it's like also it's a thing of trust also. It's like my body is in your hands now.
Yeah,
you know, do with me what you will.
Yeah.
It's like it's just so wow. I know.
So attractive. All right. That was yours, the body. Yeah. Okay. The next one is this is something which I actually heard recently. One thing which I wish I knew about sex is that sometimes it's not that you don't like the sex, it's the type of sex that you don't like. So there's this incredible woman, so I've forgotten her name. I just recently started following her, and she said that she used to have this kind of like, fuck me, I'm a whore, whatever the case may be kind of sex. But the more she evolved as a person, she started finding that kind of sex like, I don't know if it's like tiring or like a bit outside of herself. And like sex started evolving for her from a place of like connecting with someone, or more sensuality, more like, let's be open and vulnerable kind of sex. And she realized that she was saying that she doesn't want sex, but really because there's so many ways you can have sex, she was just excluding, like, she doesn't want this anymore. And I think I've realized that I'm somewhere coming between that, where it's like, yes, sometimes, you know, fuck me daddy or whatever the case may be, but other times I want to feel like the sex is more than just the physical interaction. Yeah. And unfortunately, if you don't get that, you will feel like you're tired of sex, because it's not hitting the spots for you the way that it used to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you can decide, maybe your man is more the sensual, and really what you want is pull my hair, I'm a whore, whatever the case may be. You can decide, but the type of sex you're getting might determine that relationship with sex.
I agree. Me, I found that a healthy balance between the two works for me. It's like I would say maybe 70% is the pull my hair daddy, and then the 30% it's just like, you know, it's just the connection to just remind I love you,
even the way they're kissing on you.
Exactly. And I feel like having both is just so nice.
Yeah,
it's so nice.
And I think it's quite reflective of the growth you're both growing at emotionally. Like, I think the deeper the emotional depth, like the more the emotional depth, the more you guys are able to interact sexually in a way that's not just physical.
Yeah.
Which
is so fantastic. It can feel so great. And
it's so empowering, by the way, to have both, if that's what you want, or to have the kind of sex that you appreciate. Yeah.
What's unfortunate is that if you partner with someone who is not on the same wavelength as you, because then it's either going to be too much of one or too much of the other. So ideally you want someone who's like, or you grow apart, because it's like, it's always this one or it's this one. And when we are doing this one, I feel like this is boring. And when we're doing this one, you feel like, this is boring.
What is this?
Exactly. Okay, here's my next one. It's okay to ask for sex advice. It's not something that necessarily comes naturally and easily to people to just have sex with another person, especially in the society that we grow up in, is where women are taught to hide their bodies and not express themselves as much. And if you do, you're a slut. And sometimes you have questions and you have, like, you want to know, is this okay? Is this normal? Am I supposed to feel this way after sex? You know, like basic things. It's okay to ask for advice. And sometimes you might not have a place to go. You can always DM us as TMI Podcast. You can go on Beducated and learn something new, or you can see a sex therapist. I mean, you can ask your gynecologist also as well, depending on if it's a health thing or whatever, if it's a pleasure thing. Don't be afraid to ask for advice. I know it's tough. I know even speaking out loud and admitting that actually you have had sex can be tough for some people. It can be tough for some people.
Or
but
how
guys,
sex is going. Yeah.
And that's why I think Beducated is such a good idea, because you're able to get the answers without having to ask the questions.
And or even speak to anyone.
Anyone.
No human.
Exactly.
You don't have to. It could just be learning you for yourself.
Although when I do the courses, I feel like they're speaking to me. You know, they should just like, they just speak so, it's just a nice gentle tone. And I'm just like, thank you.
It's personal.
Like, it's very personal.
It feels personal.
I love it.
I feel like one of the greatest gifts I have is that my circle are very sexually open people. So anytime, like, maybe if I have something in my head or whatever, actually, you know what always happens with me and Joe? I'll think I'm telling Joe such a big, girl. God. And then she'll be like, oh my God, even me.
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you something. One thing about sex that also that I wish I knew is that you think that you're the most deviant. Yours is so bad and so strange and you're whatever. But trust me, you will find someone else out there who is like you, and you guys will have great sex together.
And you absolutely love it. I think that's because sex is a taboo topic. If we're not talking about it, then we're not getting advice about it. That's a really important one. Seek advice. If you don't know something, you don't know how to drive, you don't know how to do what you do, you learn. So even sex is something which we can learn.
Absolutely.
I think we've touched on a lot of them. Like, you can teach. One thing is like, we already touched it. You can teach someone how to truly pleasure you, because it's not always like the highest orgasm you've ever had was in the beginning. Sometimes it's somewhere deep into the relationship.
And I think that's what I like about like sex, even in long-term relationships. And there's no one sexual experience which is exactly the same as another one you've had. Like, all of them have unlimited potential. And sometimes it's like, oh, it's okay, we did it and we went to bed. Other times it's like, oh my God, that's so memorable. Other times it's like this thing is different, this thing is different. And what makes it different is us both being in in sync and being in the experience, like fully in the experience. You know, it's like when you've seen something, even like sending a picture before you guys meet at night of like, hey, by the way, I saw this babe, so we try tonight, kind of thing. That's gonna yield for really good experience that night.
What is this experience going to be? It's the most amazing thing about sex. It's like, what is it going to be? I know in my previous relationship, I feel like one of the most amazing sexual experiences was even towards the end. And this is someone obviously you've had loads of sex with, but still there's untouched parts of you, both emotionally, both physically, that are going to be awakened every time you do have a sexual experience. This is also the same with self-pleasure if you are not having sex with anyone.
Exactly. And you can have great sex at 20, you can have great sex at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60.
Yeah. When I was experiencing this, edging, as I shared in the beginning of the episode, that's something which is like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can't wait to go in.
And I'm just like, how old am I? But I was just like, excuse me.
Hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Possibilities are endless.
Yep. I think that's also the last one. I just also want to remind guys, do you know the clitoris is the only body part that is there solely for pleasure? It has no other purpose.
I know.
In your body. You would know. You would know. If there's one body part that's working in Nairobi, it's Lydia's clitoris. That bitch's been through a lot.
Woo,
that bitch has been through a lot, let me tell you. And so, like, take advantage of that. It's the fact that God thought to put for us this thing, which is just for our pleasure. It serves no other purpose, you guys. And just take advantage of that. Imagine, not all the time must be, the penetrative sex. Not all the time. I mean, experience new things, try new things. By the way, I thought I knew a lot about sex until I went on Beducated. And you see some things and you're like, wait, I don't even know what even the title means. Even the title. So I'm like, I click on, I'm like, oh,
that's what that
means. That's what that is. And it's like as if you're actually in a classroom,
You are in the classroom. I told you when we did that, we watched the female orgasm course. I was just like, oh, wait, there are how many?
Yeah.
Like, oh, what does that one mean?
So, I mean, wow. Yeah, crazy.
So many
things, guys. So yeah, take your pleasure into your own hands, guys. Because in this day and age, there's no reason why you should be suffering with bad sex.
You shouldn't, guys. And because obviously we love you guys and we love to partner with platforms which are going to benefit you guys as much as possible, take advantage of the code TMI podcast. And you can have 65% off on episode 65, as I pointed out earlier. 65% off your annual subscription. And if you just want to browse and just see what we are talking about somewhere private, and you know what, you can make this an experience. Browsing through Beducated can be 100% its own pregame. So you can just browse, see what you like, what you're keen on, and Beducated gets better and better. More courses are added, over 70 per week. So it's not like all what you find today will be the end. Check next month, check the month after that, and you're going to probably find something which is even more specific to exactly what you need. So we hope this is helpful, guys. It's helpful to us, and we trust that if you do purchase or if you do go on there, you're going to be like, oh,
yes. Actually, 9 out of 10 of their subscribers have reported that since they downloaded Beducated, they have experienced better sexual happiness. It's just a fact. Like, it's just a fact.
It is what
just
it is.
Just go and download it, guys.
Truth.
Yeah, I know. I've enjoyed this episode.
I have as well.
I wish I could just send this episode to Murugi at 20.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Because she needs it, man.
Let me tell you though, Lydia at 18 would be so proud of Lydia now as far as how sexually confident I am, how in tune I am with what I want, and just being so confident about asking for it. And not kink shaming myself, no sexual shame, just liberated. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, I hope she could see me now.
Live your best life, guys.
Live your best life.
Lead. Have your best sex. I choose to believe that our best sex is ahead of us.
Oh,
it's
mine
not
is
behind
definitely
us.
ahead of
For
mine.
sure.
Oh, absolutely. Because I feel like my sexuality opens up as I get older and I get better. So, and my sexual experiences are a reflection of me.
Exactly.
So, of course, if I'm getting better, why wouldn't I get better?
And even as you get better at choosing partners, because the closer you get to like you just get better at choosing partners as you get older. You can almost kind of identify this is gonna be bomb sex. versus with this one, it's not gonna be.
Oh no, me, I've always been good at that. I've already said. I knew.
You need to have a sexometer.
You have to. You just feel.
You can just sense exactly. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we really hope you have learned something in this episode. We would love to hear things that you guys wish you knew before you started having sex, or you wish you knew maybe when you were having sex when you were younger. Please share with us as we have shared with you, and let us all learn down in the comments, guys. You can also DM us on Instagram, TMI Podcast KE or Lydia KM and Murugi Munyi.
Yeah, please do, guys. We do feel very vulnerable after these episodes. So when we go through the comments and we're just like, oh, thank God. Oh, so it's not just us. Oh, so we're in this together. That definitely makes the experience a lot better.
And sometimes when you like forgotten what you had said in the episode, and then you're watching back and you're like, I said that.
And someone's like, Lydia, ati what? You're like, oh my God, nilisema nini?
It's amazing.
It's amazing, guys. Thank you so much for your support. As we always say, make sure you are subscribed on our YouTube channel, on our podcast platform, because you validate us and we get to be able to bring you the best content, because we're able to do things like this, have sponsored content, because you guys are supporting us. Do you know what I mean? See you on the next episode. Bye.